Hey folks, welcome to what we are calling the season premiere of season 3 of Load Bearing Beams. We are past the summer of rock. We're on to our normally scheduled programs here, talking about an animated classic, FernGully, The Last Rainforest, a movie whose ambitions were huge. They were going to save the rainforest, also the world, the environment, save everything. Instead, they kind of just made a lot of people horny for trees, but that's okay. We go all into the sexy, sultry FernGully and the history of this movie, how this animated Australian classic came to be, its feud with Disney, how Jeffrey Katzenberg tried to shut it down, the feud between Disney and Robin Williams as a result of this and of Aladdin. We cover all of that, and then we talk about the movie itself. Now, we are a little mixed on this movie. If this movie is a beloved classic for you, nothing against you, and you know, we there's a lot to love about this movie, but it's fun to just kind of make fun of a movie a little bit, celebrate the movies. Hope you enjoy it. Look in the episode description. You'll find the movie discussion there, the history segment. If you want to skip past the history segment, just look for movie discussion and skip to that part of the episode. Okay, enjoy us talking about FernGully, The Last Rainforest. Oh, hello. This is the Load Bearing Beams podcast. I am Matt Stokes.
And I'm Lacey Roth.
Lacey just finished watching the movie FernGully. I just hear her from the other room go, "This is a floating vagina."
You
don't know what that meant.
You're going to find out.
I look forward to finding that out.
Okay.
So this is our movie podcast. We're back to our regular programming. The summer of rock is behind us. And if you're a giant FernGully fan, just know this is a movie podcast where we do a deep dive into a movie, look at the history, review the movie itself, make fun of it, even if we like it. It's all in good fun.
Even if we like it. You can ask everyone I love.
You make a lot of fun.
And it's mostly fun for me.
And my rebranding of that is I'm celebrating you.
Which is such a good rebrand.
Yeah, it doesn't help at all.
The marketing blogs are going nuts.
Really.
Over that rebrand.
I wanted to say this, though, about our podcast. Load Bearing Beams. We're kind of now in season 3 of Load Bearing Beams. That's how I think of it. We've
been doing it for for 9 years, but we're in season 3.
Okay, but don't let that scare you off. So here's the thing. This is the first animated movie we've covered since South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut 2 years ago. I don't know. We've kind of struggled to cover animated movies for whatever reason. We're going to try it again. But when I was thinking about that South Park episode, I realized this is coming out 2 years, pretty much 2 years to the day after that episode. And it's kind of a milestone. And I thought that I needed to give praise and gratitude to a specific person. And that's you, Lacey.
I was going to pretend it was me.
My beautiful wife.
You're welcome.
Because, okay, one thing, you're kicking ass and taking names on the podcast for the past month as you have been busily preparing your busy season at work.
Got it.
Lacey and I are our actual day jobs. Well, Lacey makes a lot more money than me, and she's going to a conference that takes up all of her time and attention, and yet still is taking time to release a podcast every week. And why I'm proud of us is for 2 straight years, we have released a new podcast every Friday. Something we struggled to do for years and years leading up to that.
It's harder than maybe it's hard, but it's harder than we thought. And we kept going, and it's really, I don't know why I get the praise. It's you. You're the steam engine.
I drive the ship of state.
You put the coal in the hole too, though.
Because you give it your all and you go along. And I have ideas for like, hey, what if we record a song?
Sometimes I'm like hanging off the back of that train, and sometimes I'm on the little behind the train, but I get there.
Well, you make more money than I do. You're busier with work than I am, and you still take out the time to watch the movies, to take the notes, to make the friends in the network of friends and supporters. And you're funny, and you stir the drink of the show.
Okay. Wow.
But again, mainly it's like the reality of putting out a podcast every week is way harder than you. It's like having a baby. If you actually were confronted with how much work that is,
you'd never fuck. You'd always get the condom going.
And when we finally realized how much work it takes to make a podcast that's good, it was the idea
distinction.
That we're just going to have to do this every single, that's when we started 2 years ago. It's when we started doing a PowerPoint. research for the history segment, take detailed notes, have some actual structure to all this. We fully committed to video. So if you dive into like our archives, you'll see we've been doing this since 2017, but I think the actual version of the show that's good started 2 years ago.
Okay. I see what you're saying. We had our training wheels on longer than most children.
Yes, we did. There's like long breaks, and then we'll come back with an episode where we'll be like, sorry guys, and then we'll say the thing about how the podcasting advice is always release an episode every week on the same day every week, and we're just not able to do that. But we finally got to doing it 2 years ago. And so that was season 1, which ended with the Summer of Spielberg. Season 2 was last year. Drumline was our season premiere all the way to the Summer of Rock. And now we're premiering season 3 with FernGully.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Now I understand. I'm up to speed. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is an animated film that we're gonna discuss. If you, I make these videos by myself about sort of quasi forgotten animated movies. No, and none of these movies are forgotten. Like FernGully is a big movie, but basically that just means it's not released by Disney and it wasn't an enormous hit.
Right. There's not merchandise that went crazy, so it's not lasting.
Right.
It's not going to be licensed and pop up on like a Christmas stocking next year for whatever reason.
That's a good distinction. Yeah.
There's not a FernGully 2. I mean, there might be.
There is.
Well, fuck that. But there's not a 4.
Everything has a straight-to-video sequel.
I just mean that there's not going to be any live-action FernGully coming down the pipe because Disney does not own it.
That's right. Well, no, I think they
can't stop.
I think that. Well, let's see.
When does it become?
This isn't on Disney Plus. This was released by 20th Century Fox, which they own, but I think it was produced independently. I think it's the producers own the movie.
Probably an Australian.
I do these videos, like I did a video on Little Nemo. I do like freaking Planet 51, the first animated movie starring The Rock. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a movie called The Elm-Chanted Forest, which is a Yugoslavian movie from the 80s. So just if you're interested in any of that, check out our YouTube channel.
They're very good. Matt is really good when he's by himself.
Well, that's not. It's that I can give like a capsule history of the production.
But you're really good at that. You're really good at like putting it all together and taking it from different sources, making sure it's your own, elevating it, extend. You don't steal, and I don't know that I can do that. I read a book. Here's how the book goes. That's what I would do.
Well, I mean, when I get insecure, I'm like, I'm just doing a book report. I'm just summarizing shit that
how hard it is to do a good book report? A+.
But I'm just fascinated with these animated movies because animated movies are they're so difficult to make. Mm-hmm. There has only been one big player in the American movie industry, and there's all these times where competitors have risen up to try to challenge them, and those are the movies I'm really interested in. And FernGully, I think, falls into that.
And timing must be kind of a nightmare with like you got to start the animation train and then you got to get the voice actors on board, but you also need licensing for whatever music. Are these going to be original to the movie? Are we going to try to license some music? Like I'll bet it seems, and I can see it here, that all those things are not figured out all at once to where they flow necessarily. It feels like some things happen before others. Some things it's too late to reanimate a part, so we're just going to have a whole singing performance where the guy does not sing at all.
Oh yeah, often animation is locked. You have to be a really big budget movie to be able to redo animation because that takes years. It's not like shooting where it's like, we have an alternate take. There's no alternate takes. That would mean people are just drawing stuff just to throw it away.
I just mean they don't break with the animation team until they can figure something out. It seems like one team has the urgency, has the hierarchy. It's like, no, we're just going. You didn't figure this out yet? Fine. This scene will be. They're dancing to a 1-2 beat. Just figure that out in post, and they did. And here is the.
You're saying they did that here?
Yes, this is how Zach does his performance when he puts on his stereo, and the FernGullys go wild. The fairies they go, and he's like,
yeah, and this is the song. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that. It is like.
He's not even singing.
I don't even know what this song is.
He's pretending to this is a classic song.
This sounds like a.
You got to know how to pony, like Pony Marone. You got a mashed potato. Do the alligator. It's a real song. It's a good song.
No, I know, but it's not like it's the biggest song in the world. It's also why is this like 20-year-old Australian guy listening to this in his tape player
in 1992? I have no idea.
This was your movie. You made us watch this.
I did.
So what's your history with it?
Well, okay, so it's not my fault, but a lot of forest movies came out all around the same time. That'd be The Land Before Time, Once Upon a Forest, FernGully. I'm going to throw The Rescuers in there because they were tiny, and I feel like everything's a forest when you're small.
I guess.
So Crysta is very iconic looking. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, that's what I remember FernGully is her look. And then the rest of the movie proceeded, and I was like, what is this movie? And then I saw the cover of Once Upon a Forest, and I went, that's the movie I thought I was recommending. Oops.
This is not the first time we've watched the wrong movie.
No, it is
because
not.
Lacey remembered incorrectly. We did Dogma instead of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Correct.
I'm sure there's been others.
I'm sure of it.
All right. Well, what'd you think though?
Well, I had my heart all set to love it. Animation, I don't know enough about it. There were moments where I'm like, well, this is beautiful. Because what I remember of this movie is it's beautiful. And what I always connected to is Avatar. And I get why I did. There's a tree. There's fucking without fucking. There's glowing. There's lots of sparkles. Lots of mystical tree growth shit. But I'm wondering if this animation isn't cheating at looking extra special, because there's moments in the animation where I'm like, this is just a coloring book. This is just not a shitty way. It's a beautiful drawing. No movement at all, except for Crysta's flying across it.
Yeah.
And then maybe one thing's flapping. And I'm like, that's interesting. What is that, good or bad animation? I don't know. Like everything that's drawn seems really nice. I don't know that the character development is quite there. I feel like everything around the characters is good, but the fairies and the humans to me feel a little underthought through. They're very outlined. They're very early Disney looking.
You're talking about the design, not like the
like the story. Yeah, I'm talking about like they literally look like they're kind of on top of something that was maybe more care was given to it. The backgrounds.
I think this movie looks extraordinary for the budget that it had.
Well, I don't know the budget.
Static backgrounds, that is, we don't have the money to make the backgrounds move. They made this for $24 million. I think it looks great. They augmented it with a lot of CGI, which is not that noticeable. I was surprised to see. I find it more noticeable in like the Beauty and the Beast sequence where they're in the ballroom. I've always disliked that because I find it so distracting, but I was not distracted here. The character designs, though, I think you have your main characters and then everyone else looks like sort of anonymous nymphs. But I've noticed, I also watched The Little Mermaid recently. That's also the case with that movie with all of the non-important mermaids. Yes. They all look so bland.
They're exactly the same shape, just like different colored tops and different colored tails.
I don't know what it is about designing like a magical creature that makes them all look so boring and the same.
I guess because humans are also boring and the same.
With a human, like you see, when you finally see the humans in this movie, you have like an enormous one and then one with a giant nose. And like you can just have a lot of fun with those designs.
Yeah, I don't, it seemed like a hodgepodge to me a little bit. Like the two characters operating the truck look like the two drivers from 101 Dalmatians, where the Zach, main character dude in this, looks kind of like Prince Eric. And then she also looks, I don't know, just it all looks kind of iconic. It all springs back memories and stuff. I think mainly the cover of the movie, the Poofy Box movie cover art, and parts of it are magical and beautiful, but other parts feel like afterthoughts.
I mean, like ultimately, you're saying you're mixed. There's parts that you thought were great, parts that you thought were so. I mean, I guess
parts where I feel like it's fully integrated, and then other parts where I feel like it's literally someone turned the page to a beautifully illustrated like children's book, and then there's one animated character flying on top of it, which is not. I mean. It's kind of a nice break. It gets my attention. And usually those moments happen when they're outside of their like inner world. So it feels a little intentional, like the stillness happens when something more somber is happening, which, there's movement to life, death. There's no movement. It makes sense symbolically.
I guess I kind of agree with you pretty much about all of that. Like, and my final assessment, I think I like the movie more than you. I guess I had seen it before. Because it was not my movie. And I thought, I've never seen that. I just know the cover. I know her. And I know the pterodactyl, who it turns out is a bat, not a pterodactyl. This is not a dinosaur movie. But then when the scene where they're touching the tree and there's red paint on it, like something clicked in me. Oh, I know this. I've seen this. So I don't know. I had no memory of it. I think that it's a really good looking movie with some really powerful moments. And I also think the script is a little chicken shit. And its message is pretty muddled. And we'll kind of try to...
Yeah, I think it had really lofty goals, especially since the title, the card on the out, with the last thing you see is for our children's children. This sexed up fairy tale, fairy tale.
We were laughing about that, about what they thought they were going to achieve with this movie.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, you maybe your ambitions were a little too lofty, but I mean, I certainly, as a kid, wouldn't have had much awareness of rainforests and why they're important. So I mean, I'm sure that I was like, oh yeah, I guess little things need trees.
But that's the thing. That's why messages. That's why I don't think art can do much to change the world, because that's exactly what happens. People are like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess the rainforest is important. All right, moving on.
Let's go to
What
IKEA.
are you gonna do? You're not going to do shit. It doesn't matter to raise awareness. And I think that at the end of this movie, when Zach gets his two big bros and he's like, guys, from here on out, things have got to change.
I wrote it down. Buddies, things have got to change. Like,
yeah.
You're going to be walking the rest of the forest out of here. By the time you get out of this forest, you're going to hate the rainforest fucking much that you're going to like burn down the first fucking pile of firewood you see. Just to do it.
That's why I like the South Park episode where they go to the rainforest as part of like a chorus that's going to sing about saving the rainforest. Then they get lost in the rainforest. They're like, the rainforest fucking sucks.
Oh.
And they changed the song to being about how we need to destroy all the rainforests because they suck.
I didn't even know that. Just came up with that.
But it's funny. You know, you mentioned Avatar. The comparison is I was annoyed because I recorded a podcast with Screen Time Coda, mentioned Avatar, and he's like, it's just FernGully. And then I yelled at him like he was you. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, there's only like 3 or 4 stories in the history of the world. But
it's like, literally an enchanted tree.
This is like beat for beat in many ways. Yeah. However, I think that we are so poisoned by only ingesting stories that are pro-capitalist and therefore pro-individual and about the individual rising to become a hero. So when there is occasionally a movie that's
about the collective.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, hippy dippy shit. I've heard that before.
And we've lumped them all in together.
It's mainly the very important special tree and like the touching of hands that basically was the sex scene in this movie. And just like with Avatar where they just intimately touch manes or wherever the fuck that was. And that I'm always with you as she dies and like then her particles are everywhere.
Well, but I think that this compares unfavorably to Avatar because Avatar actually has a radical message of we need to fucking kill the humans. So we're going to band together and do radical violence against basically the American military. Whereas this one's like, we're going to kill them with kindness.
I mean, honestly, if they were really about their business, not just a bunch of little fucking twerps that can barely go a square mile out from their special tree, then they'd be going to where they think deforestation is going to happen, use fairy magic to make them all this big, leave them there to die.
My God, that'd be perfect. Yes.
Like, because what else are you doing with your day?
What are you going to do?
Just like he asked. But what do you do all day? I help things grow. Why don't you actually help things grow? And go minify all these, especially if you can make them big again. Just every deforesting person that comes out here, change their mind. How about that? And if they come back again, shrink them.
I think you just shrink them. Just shrink them to nothing. Shrink them to atom size. Just right there.
And then they'll just really care about the puddles. Now everyone's really draining all the puddles. We need these puddles. Or just whatever's small.
And I think the other chicken shit thing is like Hexis, who I think is a cool character. That is a way out of saying this isn't the fault of humans. There's an evil forest spirit. Who, I guess, like, what is he supposed to represent?
I have no idea. I was confused. I was like, okay, where are they going to... He's like, yeah, this will be great. Well, I'll use, like, mankind's bad instincts for my purposes. So, like, I guess he's greed and capitalism?
But disconnected from actual humans. He's like an elemental spirit.
Right, but so kind of implying that little things like Hexis can get into... into the brains of the humans.
Yeah, so it's not their fault. They've been cursed by a demon.
But it's also interesting because this movie also seems to be saying something about like testing on animals. So it cares about animals too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of got a lot going on. You know what? Let's get into the history, please. I think I'll feel more informed.
But they definitely thought, like, we're going to save the rainforest. We're going to say the rainforests of Australia are in trouble and we're going to save them. And Lacey and I were laughing. Like, what instead they did was make a generation of kids, like, really horny for rainforest. Like, see a tree and they're like, I'm just feeling things now. Because this is... We didn't watch this movie together, but I yelled at you from the other room. It's like, this is a very sexual movie.
It's definitely about the character design. You can see all her skin doesn't end. It goes all the way up.
And not just her design. I mean, her actual acting. Like, she'll be like biting her lips. Samantha Mathis's sultry performance.
Well, and she's on all fours a lot.
Yeah. She gets wet all the time.
And when she gets wet, her hair like grows to like long, fuckable hot girl length. And then when she's dry, it's plucky little character.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how hair works. It's like tendrils down her tit when she's wet. It's like, we'll always have what we had here.
But I think like this isn't a mistake necessarily because like
you might as well want to fuck a tree, just don't cut it down.
But that's what plants and that's what it symbolizes, like in just the most elemental
she helps it grow.
Imagery is plants make people horny, and when they think about them,
birds and bees and trees.
That's it. That's what it's about. All right, so the history of FernGully. This all begins in Australia.
Which I didn't know until I saw a kangaroo and a platypus. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing in a goddamn rainforest? And then I found out there are kangaroos in the rainforest, but they're smaller. They're almost like monkey-like, the way that they utilize the trees.
Yeah, they're putting they have emus in this rainforest. They have all these lizards, but it's like we're going to put the iconic animals of Australia without ever saying this is Australia, which I resent. I wish there were some Australian voices, but that was like but we can't make a big movie set in Australia. Got to go get some Yanks. But this is a very Australian production. Starts with Wayne Young, the producer of the film. In 1992, he told the Calgary Herald, quote, "Once we had rainforests going down to the sea. When the Aborigines were the only inhabitants, they barely left a footprint in the sand. Things are different now. There's been a very strong conservation movement in Australia since the early 60s. I was part of that. We fought to save the rainforests and have them declared a national park. We went to the World Heritage Council for support, and luckily we preserved some large sections of rainforest, including the one that inspired this film." End quote.
Just one section of it.
Yeah.
It was a really mossy section.
We did that.
It had a twisty, ropey tree.
He and his wife, Diana, were the stewards of this movie for a long time. She had written this story, like composed it in her head, and would tell her children bedtime stories about the magical creatures that inhabit the rainforests of Australia. But Wayne Young had produced Crocodile Dundee, an international blockbuster out of Australia, and he decided, I want to go over to Hollywood and try to make it over there. So most of my history comes from a 2017 Vanity Fair piece, FernGully at 25, how an upstart Disney rival created a millennial silent spring by Chantel Titoli. Wayne Young, the producer, said, like, they had this idea, but the environmental movement wasn't cool. We had to wait for it to get cool again. And by the late 80s, things had started to turn. Madonna had a benefit concert called Don't Bungle the Jungle.
Nice.
So he went to Hollywood, sets up shop there, tries to start shopping around his project for FernGully, an animated movie about an Australian rainforest. But it wasn't until The Little Mermaid in 1989 kind of reinvigorated the American animation industry. And I said this earlier when I was talking about the videos that I make, but I love exploring these movies by upstart rivals, whether they're big studios trying to get into animation or they're independent studios like Don Bluth making the American Tail movies, or like Warner Brothers and DreamWorks and 20th Century Fox all trying to get their own animation studios off the ground. It's just a fascinating time in animation history. Bill Kroyer is the director of this movie. He was a very important CGI animator. He did the CGI for Tron. And he worked at Disney for a long time. Never directed a feature, but he was an animator on The Fox and the Hound. In 1988, he directed an animated short called Technological Threat, which was nominated for an Oscar. You can watch it. It's on YouTube. It's 6 minutes long. It's about it's about dogs who work in an office that are under constant surveillance. And if they to have any drop in their productivity, like if they have to sneeze, they might get instantly replaced with a computer that will literally, like an anthropomorphic computer that will sit at their desk for them. It's
Amazon.
It's Amazon and AI. It's predicting both of those things simultaneously. It's incredible. But FernGully, the only movie that he has directed, the only feature film that he has directed, but he kept very busy doing CGI animation for the Garfield movie, the Scooby-Doo movie, and Cats and Dogs. And what he said was, quote, "The pitch was that the real rainforest is so magical itself. That's the thing you want to portray, to convey that it's worth saving. We didn't draw fantasy plants or animals. We saw these things. We went over there with a thin story, but everything came together when we saw the glowing fungi." End quote. So he and his team went to the rainforest in Australia and stayed there for a while, and they ran into trouble with Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was running Disney's animation, wanted to nip any competitors in the bud. This Bill Kroyer's team would rent animation facilities, and then Katzenberg would come in and try to offer the landlord double to be able to rent it himself. And what they really ran into trouble with was Robin Williams, for whom the role of Batty, the bat, had been written, and he had never done animation before.
You're kidding. This is before Aladdin. I did not put that together. It seems like an Aladdin audition.
Well,
how he cycles through voices. It's impression.
And both this movie and Aladdin, what the director said is this was a smaller character, but he came in and he just had us in stitches. He just let him go. We let him go, and he would go for 37 straight hours. And suddenly the genie's taken over the movie, and suddenly Batty's taken over the movie.
Batty's my favorite part.
I think he's annoying.
I know.
I think the genie works so much better than Batty works. But, at least in this movie, they have the in-movie explanation for why he does so many pop culture references.
Right.
Which is that he's a bat who was experimented on and ingested all this human pop culture.
It could literally pick up frequencies.
Yeah. So that's, whereas in Aladdin, he's just he'll just turn into Sigmund Freud. Just because he's magical.
Well, because he's timeless. He's existed always.
He exists out. Okay, there you go.
You just needed me to help you there.
So he took this job first. He did this movie first. And then when he signed on to Aladdin, Katzenberg was very angry. You're going to do another animated movie from a hated rival, Bill Kroyer Pictures. And that movie's going to come out the same year as Aladdin. And it did. It came out 6 months before Aladdin.
Shit.
The screenwriter
just gets your palate wet for Aladdin, though. I mean, Aladdin's just so special.
Yeah, there was no threat.
Yeah, you're okay.
No threat at all. The screenwriter for the movie, Jim Cox, he said, quote, "Katzenberg did not want him voicing two animated characters in two animated movies at the same time and tried to force Robin not to do it. Robin was steaming it's my voice. You can't stop me." He felt very strongly about the actionable green message, end quote. Yeah. All I want is your voice.
You can't have it, Katzenberg.
I know that this isn't about FernGully. This is about him and his feud with Disney over Aladdin. But I think it's an interesting story, and it's sort of a counterpoint to the modesty of FernGully. That Robin Williams had a long feud with Disney after Aladdin. What I had always heard was that the source was that he didn't want to be included in any marketing of Aladdin because he had the movie Toys coming out around the same time, and he didn't want that to distract from Toys, because he cared a lot about toys.
Yeah.
But they put him front and center in the marketing. I couldn't find any actual support for that. So what it seemed like it actually was that he had an agreement with Disney that they wouldn't use his voice in any merchandising, and that they just went ahead and did it. And here's what he said in New York Magazine in 1993, quote, "It wasn't as if we hadn't said it out. I don't want to sell stuff. It's the one thing I don't do. In Mork and Mindy, they did Mork dolls. I didn't mind the dolls. The image is theirs. But the voice, that's me. I gave them myself. When it happened, I said, I don't do that. And they apologized. They said it was done by other people. Do you know the story of Eric von Stroheim getting a blowjob on the set?
What the
Eric
fuck?
von Stroheim's a director from like Hollywood's golden
Wait,
age.
and Mork and Mindy?
No, from like the 20s.
No, but okay. So he's just bringing this up.
Yes. So,
okay.
You know the story of Eric von Stroheim getting a blowjob on the set? Suddenly he notices that all the crew members are watching. He looks down and goes, "What are you doing, you nasty girl?" The Disney thing was like that. I swear I didn't know what my right hand was doing. So yeah, saying like, yeah, you knew what I wanted, but there's way more money and you can just buy me off.
Well, and don't ask permission. Ask for forgiveness.
So Jeffrey Katzenberg bought Robin Williams a $1 million Picasso, but it didn't help. Robin Williams is still mad. He wanted a public apology, which Katzenberg, who is a wicked fuck, never gave him. But then he left Disney, got replaced by Joe Roth, who did do a public apology that mended the fences. And then Robin Williams could be in the
Return
third,
of Jafar?
no, the one after Return of Jafar, because in Return of Jafar,
Genie.
in Return of Jafar, it's Dan Castellaneta, Homer, and in Aladdin and the Prince of Thieves, it's Robin Williams is back. So that's the history of Robin Williams. in
I
animation.
like that about. I'd like to know more about Robin Williams, and I mean, he seems like a very complicated, deep thinking guy. I always like to stand up, even though there's always one or two parts of his stand up where I'm like, oh my God. And it's exhausting. Like he just physically exhausts you to watch him go and go and go and go.
Yeah, that's the part that I can't.
But that's that's a really cool principle that he had. That like he's not trying, he just wants to give a performance. He isn't trying to milk it and other people for all they're worth after the point. He doesn't seem like he's very much into capitalism. And for him to be into FernGully for the green aspect of it, also neat.
Yeah, and it's like if you're trying to work, can you actually be anti-capitalist and work in the movie industry? It's the great tension.
Did he start as a stand-up or sketch comedy? I mean, he probably didn't know he was movie star material. You know, he probably didn't know he had a Patch Adams in him or whatever. I'm sure a comedian just wants to like get paid for being a comedian and like be able to make a living doing it. He just kind of seemed like lightning in a bottle, and that probably got away from him. You know, like he grew so big so fast and didn't really have a plan that he knew how to execute.
Yeah, and so even if it's not like totally thought out, like, oh, really, you're okay working with Disney, but you're not okay with like them using your voice. Like, what is it? What's the difference? And to him, it's I just have to put my foot down somewhere. I have to have some sort of principles, even if it's not coherent and makes sense. To me, it feels really important.
Right.
That you can't just make a toy of the genie and use my voice.
Right. You don't own. I can give a performance. It's there. You can then sell the movie, but you don't own the things I've said, and you can't apply them to other things in perpetuity. That's not fair, because it's like AI, right? Then you just can get any famous person to say whatever you want, because you could just take clips of everything they made and stitch it all together, and then all of a sudden you don't even own your voice.
Right. He had no idea how important what he was saying is going to be.
And when you say enough things, when you have enough takes, when they're literally letting you go and go and go, and for him there's a lot of shit left on the floor, you got to just trust that they're going to take a cut, use it, and that's it, and not put it all together in some other kind of way and use it in a way you didn't say that they could.
Right. And with like Ian Holm in the new Alien movie that came out last year, people defended it by saying his family gave permission. His wife gave permission. Your wife is not like, yeah, I trust Lacey with my life.
But you don't know what kind of debt I'm going to be in when you're dead. He would like if you did that. Yeah. Use his penis too.
Yeah.
Puppet that.
It's me. It's my body. It's my work. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. So the only other thing is this movie produced for $24 million, relatively modest budget for this movie for a movie with this much really high quality animation. I think it looks great. It made $33 million at the box office, but I have to imagine it was a giant movie on video. Like it was omnipresent when I was a kid.
I feel like everyone had this in their collection. Was Christian Slater a big get? I feel like 92 was like hot Christian Slater time.
Yeah, I think it was hot Christian Slater time.
He doesn't totally translate to a voice
sucks.
actor. Yeah, he's the flattest thing. He's just Christian Slater. Like, I mean, as soon as he said this first line, Christian Slater's like a moody, kind of brooding guy. You kind of need the amazing genetic makeup of his face and body to kind of make him more interesting. Otherwise, he's just kind of flat.
The only interesting thing about Kips, is it Kips or Pips?
Sure. I don't know.
I mean, one of cinema's like most okay cucks.
Yes.
Just keep seeing his girlfriend go to fuck this Zach guy and just be like, well, I guess Crysta's going off with that Zach. All right.
And then he's like, part of me really wants to stay. And he's like, fuck yes. But I know that I have to go. And then Crysta's like, no. Crysta's like, no. Yeah, no, you have to. No, you have to go. Just remember everything that happened here. Mm-hmm. Here's the seed, AKA I'm pregnant. Zach, love him and leave him.
Because we're all part of each other.
She used her glowing hands on him. How do we know that wasn't her first time? Anyway, whatever. It's stupid. Virginia's dumb.
You think that, okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
We're going to get to it. There was a direct-to-video sequel, FernGully 2, The Magical Rescue. Not a single person involved with FernGully was involved with the sequel. So
great.
I'm sure we will hear from people who said, I loved the sequel. It's actually better than the first, because that's every single movie we talk about.
Well, there is a carnival, so that sounds very FernGully.
Yeah, you know what's cheaper to animate than a very dense forest?
A carnival?
Yes, a carnival. The cheapest thing of all.
I didn't know that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
It just seems like easier, but what do I know?
What is in the back? Okay, so it's a man abusing animals. That's the thing.
We don't want to see that.
Well, that's why they're getting involved. Now I understand.
So this is FernGully 2, not in FernGully. We are not.
Right. We bring it with us. I swear I thought her name was FernGully.
I know. What is FernGully? Like,
it's just a location.
Wait till we get to FernGully. I thought we were in FernGully.
No. Then all of a sudden they drop in the canoe and he's like, where are we? FernGully. He's like, why are you saying we're here? It's the glowy fun part. Also, I really don't understand what Maggie can do. It seems very limited at times.
Floating vagina.
She's a floating labia majora and minora, but both seem kind of major to me. She's a floating roast beef sandwich.
She is the floating spirit of all of nature and how we are all connected to each other. Okay.
I understand that, Matt. But at the end, when she turns blue because she uses up her last drop of magic to make a twisty tree, you made one twisty tree, and it's not even an indefeatable tree. Like, still the big machine comes and it cuts into it. So what did you just do, Maggie?
I know, and
you died
Crysta
for what?
says, and Hexis is defeated and he could never come back. I think he could. I think if you just chopped down that tree, he'd be back.
Right. That you
very easily.
Fool me once, Crysta.
But she has way too much faith in Zach. He's going to go back and raise awareness.
Look at him with his cuffed jeans and his way too tan skin. Now that I understand it's Australian, it all makes sense. Come on, boys. Things have got to change. You know who society will listen to? A teenage boy and two overweight men. Let's go change the world.
Right. We did a recap of the show Severance, earlier this year. And we were saying season 1 seems to end with the heroes of that show being like, the world needs to know what they're doing to us. And we said, because we're so smart, we said, hey, guess what? It won't matter if the world learns. Think about all the shit we know is going on in the world that we don't do anything about. You think people are going to go, oh, the fairies in the rainforest.
What they want to know is the bottom line. What does this do for the cost of building a home? Well, it triples the price. Fuck those fairies.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Fuck those fairies. That's what happens.
Here's what we're going to do. Not think about the fairies. Okay.
Or, hey, we are going to have to pull way back on wood because of the forest, but that just means to ramp up the plastics industry. So we just fuck the ocean instead.
One of the great things about Avatar 2.
Avatar gonna confront the forest avatars and the water avatars, be like, it's you. No, it's you.
I believe that the fire avatar are working with the humans. I think that that's the thing in the new movie. Collaborators.
Well, there are always that, in an uprising or downfalling. I don't know what I'm saying. My point is, I've noticed more lately in our videos, there's just a lot of me talking like this on the side.
Because you're holding the mic now these days.
Maybe, but I so need to point my aggression at you. Where it's like, is it more engaging if I just stare in the camera really intensely? I don't know.
Do both.
Listener, tell me. Yell at Matt. Yell at you.
You want you to yell at me.
What'd you say?
So.
What did you say?
I said, they're going to want you to yell at me.
Yeah, but maybe this side of me is not great,
All sides of you are great. So let's talk about FernGully, the Last Rainforest. It's the last one. We open with these handprints or whatever in white powder. You know, it's like a really beautifully illustrated tapestry of the history of the forest.
Aboriginal forest.
And I like that it starts with handprints, but then the handprints are the tops of trees because we are all the same. Mm-hmm. When somebody like James Cameron seems like he just did a lot of mushrooms and he's now like, I see everything. I see the connectivity among all life. He sounds like a big giant nerd, but he is not wrong. We are all the same thing. It is an illusion that I am one person and you are a different person. Right. We're all the same exact thing.
Literally, the only difference between a human and a fairy was that the Zach wore shoes. Like literally everything else was the same. We're even pretty sure he had a penis and Crysta had a vagina. We're pretty sure.
And that we all need each other and we are all connected in ways we will never see. And again, that sounds like boring nerd shit, but it's very, very important.
And we return to the earth. I mean, think about what our bodies do. We are literally compost.
Yeah. Yeah. Death is just, I take on a new form.
And what does compost do, Matt? It helps things grow. So it's just to continue. You know, Lion King really knew what they were talking about with that circle of life bullshit. Christians making that not something that young Christians like myself were allowed to hear. It's like, what it just means is like when you're dead, you're not really dead, but
so
why come I can't know that?
And this is a real thing. You weren't allowed to watch The Lion King because it had like evolution.
I still did because my mom's like a sucker. But that was my 1 year at private school. And it was a Baptist school, and someone brought coloring sheets for everyone to do, and it was Lion King. And Miss Stewart was pissed and threw them away in front of everyone, and that kid was sad.
Should we try to find Miss Stewart?
She dead.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, she's in heaven. So, yeah.
Without the Lion King.
Our world was much larger then. The forest went on forever. We tree spirits nurtured the harmony of all living things, but our closest friends were humans. Then, as sometimes happens, the balance of nature shifted, and Hexis, the very spirit of destruction, rose up from the bowels of the earth and rained down his poison. The forest was nearly destroyed. Many lives were lost. So Hexis...
What was it? What he did?
I think he was European settlers.
Oh,
because we were friends with the Aborigines, but then the European
Hexis got into their heads and he turned them all mean against us. Yeah, I think these fairies just can't really accept that like humans don't like you like that.
Yeah, and they're just trying to make sense of it however they can. Yeah. So they have to conjure up Hexis.
Right.
Many lives were lost. The humans fled in fear, never to return. Most think they didn't survive.
Because think about it, Matt. They even think. As soon as they see smoke, they're like, Hexis. And she's like, Maggie, don't you think it's Hexis? No. And then Crysta leaves and Maggie's like, Hexis. And it's like, it's just like a campfire or something. It is just humans. It's smoke.
Yeah, that's why it's annoying.
It wasn't Hexis.
I know. That's why it's annoying that Hexis is real, because that muddies things.
Yeah, right.
So you did have to worry about him.
Right. Or like, that's why that tree was getting chopped so good. It was near the Hexis tree.
Because what does he do?
What does he
do that the deforesters wouldn't do? I guess he says, no, you got to go deeper into FernGully. That's what he does.
Big fucking whoop.
They'd have gotten there eventually.
Right. We need more forest. That's what this machine does. It takes forest. We're not going to stop.
Yeah. But Maggie, the narrator, she was able to trap Hexis inside of an enchanted tree. We see drawings of kangaroos and stuff. And Maggie's telling Crysta all of this, but Krista's got her. She's not really listening. She's hearing
looking
music.
At half-naked fairies listening to music. Yeah.
Because, Krista's she's supposed to take Maggie's place one day, but she's like, I don't know.
It's kind of like the Trolls movie, right? It just so happens that for most of Krista's life, everything's been totally fine. I'm just a fairy doing fairy shit. Everything's super chill. Maggie, I know you're always talking about these other things. To me, all of life has been this. She has no 9/11, no Katrina. Right? And then wake up, Poppy.
Victory has made you soft.
Wake up, Poppy. I hope you had taken in all those lessons because you need to apply them all now.
Yeah, you can only learn by doing. So, yeah, that's the curse. It's the curse of victory.
She probably just needs...
As Bane says to Batman.
Yeah, all right. I forgot what I was going to say.
She goes and meets up with this hunk named Pips, played by Christian Slater. Now, Pip...
just popping off the screen.
...is a drip.
Yeah.
I think he's looks
always
stupid.
mad at her, too.
Yeah.
Where you been, Crysta? Bella, Chica, where you been at?
Bella?
That's what Jacob's like... What's up, Loca? Where you been? Whatever, that thing that everyone makes fun of Jacob for saying.
I forgot this. This is another, I think, kind of significant flaw with the movie is the songs
They are all over the fucking place.
It's because there are a number of different composers.
Okay, but there are like 4 unique to this movie, and then 1 that's not. And the tone and like the quality of each of these songs is pretty different. And some of them are just downright like, that is a fucking song. How did I recorded part of it? Just like, something's gotta die. I don't know what it said. It just might as well be you.
Sung by Tone Loc. Yeah.
No. That one just sounds like Tone Loc. I feel like Tone Loc was a gimmick in lots of things around this time. So all of a sudden, funky comedina happening, and I'm like, yep, it's the 90s.
Well, with the Disney Renaissance movies, they literally started before anything else with Howard Ashman and Alan Menken writing songs, and then the stories were built around the songs.
Them, right? In that Frozen as well, right?
I don't know if they did it that way with Frozen.
Just because, I mean, it's all about the music with Disney movies, and I think they really understand, like, that's what lasts. Kids buy those soundtracks and listen to them in the car over and over and over again. It's just so smart.
Right.
It does the marketing for you.
It was a this is the first thing we do, and everything goes from there. Not now it's time for a song, so we got to find a song. So we'll hire Alan Silvestri, or we'll hire somebody. We'll hire Jimmy Buffett writes one of these songs.
Ooh, it's probably
he writes the Tone Loc one song because it's about eating. Because Jimmy Buffett songs are all about eating.
That man was hungry. Yeah. The one where Robin Williams starts rapping, I'm like, uh-oh. But you know what? He sells it for me. It doesn't bother me like I'm ready for it to bother me because I hadn't yet seen Mrs. Doubtfire or Aladdin, where he also raps. It's just like he takes his privilege with the black scent. But this was, I guess, because he's an animal, not a man. I'm just like, do your thing, whatever.
So she's like playing with her friends. She's got Pips, who's always angry at her because she's not putting out.
You're always with Maggie. Like she's literally going to take over the forest spirits to like make everything cool and stay nice. You got to let her have her lessons, her 20-minute lessons where she's looking at you anyway.
Yeah,
he's such a little bitch. I'm just going to play my pan flute.
But here's something I like about this movie, and we'll contrast it with something like MOANA, and MOANA's a better movie than this, but just in how impossible it is for Hollywood to not tell like a proto-capitalist story.
Oh, okay.
Crysta is not, I want to get out of here. I know there's a bigger, better world out there.
No, she's chill.
Yeah, she loves this world and she wants to protect it.
Right.
MOANA will come up with reasons for like, you gotta leave, you gotta expand your empire.
This island is bullshit. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, our fish are dying, but then once she fixes the fish, she's still like, well, now we got to get on these huge canoes and go take over other islands.
You guys heard of crabs? They're delicious. Not indigenous to us. I will bring them in. It's called an import.
And I know it's harder to tell a story that isn't centered on like a very special individual. And that's Crysta kind of is a very special individual, but it isn't the chosen one wants to convince everybody like, no, humans are good. Their world is beautiful. We need to go see it. They have so much they can teach us. Humans have nothing to offer these people.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. There's no gold in anything in here. It's just two habitats trying to be who they need to be. And once they run into each other, do the best they can to like be good to each other. There's no special. I mean, there's the moment where Crysta's walking down the tree after she's almost died and she's making flowers everywhere but then that's over. Then the boy breaks up with her and she's like, yeah, remember everything you did here, Seed.
Breaks up with her.
And then like you think, oh, okay, well, great. It was already an awkward triangle. Now she can be with, because my Disney brain is like, okay, so now she be with Flip, Trip, Drip, whatever. And now they're just like, all right, well, we're friends and we're just the movie ends. Like, okay, that's kind of advanced. I was getting spoon fed relationship goals constantly as a child. This is just friendship with hand stuff.
It's friendship,
literally,
and her
hand stuff.
Yes, it is. Friendship and sex. I think that's
nice.
The sex in this movie, that is part of it. I mean, it's just implied, but it is like, we don't have your sort of like a bourgeois morality about sex because we live in close harmony with nature, where nature is all sex. That's all nature is. So why would we have any hangups about it?
You gotta fuck.
I see this hot guy, I'm going to fuck him by putting my hand on his
We barely wear clothes. Look at Skip's little loincloth. If the wind blows, you just see his dick and berries. I mean, right there.
We got these fairies played by Cheech and Chong. They're fine, I guess.
That's the least Cheech and Chong performance they've ever done, though. It's really dialed back.
You're used to hearing Cheech in movies,
That's
not,
what it
not
is.
so much Chong.
Chong has a very less distinct voice, and he talks maybe a little bit more than Cheech in this. Yeah.
Cheech was doing a lot of voiceover work. He was in Oliver and Company. Later, he'll be in Lion
He's always
King.
a welcome. Well, I mean, both of them. They're both just very expressive. They always add. People who can do voice work just are. I don't know. They have a better grasp of humanity. I don't know how they manage to make things interesting. They just know the little noises. Kind of like we were saying with
like stage acting versus
why
acting?
can't I think of his name? Johnny Depp.
Of Johnny Depp.
Right. He knows.
If you're now working without your face, you've lost one of the tools you had as a trained actor, so you have to compensate in other ways.
Right. You need vocal tics now. You need sound tics. You need proper timing of things or whatever. You know who's in this? And she's just like fairy number 2 is Bobby Hill. She's in this too.
Pamela Adlon is? I didn't hear her. I didn't hear any of the
It's just a
other
moment.
fairies.
Yeah. She's like way down the cast list.
Okay. So Crysta like flies above the canopy. They're like, don't go above the canopy, Crystal.
We don't do that.
Crystal, come on. Hey, Crystal, don't go up above the canopy.
We all think that you should not.
But she does, and she sees smoke in the distance. What's up with this smoke? I need to go back to tell Maggie. So she left Maggie 2 minutes into the movie. Now she's back with Maggie 5 minutes into the movie. Maggie. This movie moves so fast.
It does.
She's like, Maggie, I saw a big rock. And Maggie's like, that was a mountain. Mount warning.
There's many things you don't know. I don't let you go above the canopy because it means I know everything above the canopy and you don't.
Yeah, she is kind of hoarding all
a
these
little
secrets.
bit of an asshole. Yeah. And where'd your teeth go, Maggie? You're on like a tree diet. What? That's odd. Where are your teeth?
You're just gumming everything.
What have
these
you been
days.
doing?
So yeah, there's many things you don't know about this world, about the outside world, but also the inside world. There are worlds within worlds within worlds. And here's an example. This seed pod. A lot of shit inside there.
Maggie, this is literally the only thing I know about is fucking seeds. Every time I come to you, you tell me it's about a seed and then something glows and then you distract me and I walk away and then you do actual magic. And then like literally 45 minutes from now, after you told me there's much I don't know, you're going to die so casually. You don't even hug me. There's no tears, just, I was with you.
Don't forget about the seed pod.
Like, you're pregnant.
What do I do with the seed
All
pod?
right, what about the world outside of this world? Do I just stay in here in the twisty tree you made or what?
So like Crysta is working on, developing her magic power. She is supposed to be able to use her magic to make things grow, but she's not there yet. Crysta says to Maggie, like, hey, I'm worried. Do you think Hexis is coming back? Is that what the smoke means? And Maggie's like, no way.
No,
Now,
stupid
get out of
bitch.
here.
Yeah, you're done.
You're bothering me.
You don't know things.
And then when Maggie's by herself, she's like, oh my God, I think it's Hexis.
What
oh
are you
no.
doing, Hexis?
Now we meet Batty, played by Robin Williams. Batty screen time Coda. He has been experimented on by humans. He has like an electrical rod attached to his head. He talks about like grad students were shocking him. There's, I guess, like a Stanford prison experiment with a bat.
Yeah.
How much pain can you inflict on this bat? Which, we learned a lot of valuable things about how much people will torture a bat. At least how much Australians will torture a bat.
Well, if we only knew about coronavirus, we would have been torturing all of the bats.
That's a good point, Lacey.
Thank you.
That's a good point. He is, he's an agent of human interference. He's now arrived in the forest and he tells them, I've been experimented on by humans. And they're like, but humans, we thought humans were extinct.
Well, Maggie's been lying to you about a lot of things, small creatures.
And he starts like Robin Williamsing out. He does an annoying song that Lacey likes. It
was fine.
He does a Freud. He does a Desi. Lucy. Oh God, you're going to get so many of these.
I was glad he didn't go further. He just says Lucy. And then my favorite line of the entire movie is, and then it's like, hi, Helen. That was his impression of what humans are like. Oh, no, humans are like, hi, Helen.
That is funny. That's funny. That's
hilarious.
Well, we meet Crysta's father. He's like, you think humans still exist? He's like, now, Crysta, you're too old to believe in human tales.
You see what he did though.
But Crysta, she's like, fuck this. I'm going to go look at Mount Warning. I need to go take a look for myself. And Batty decides to follow her. But Batty is scared, so he roosts upside down before he can get to like the edge of the forest. And then Crysta goes inside of his wings and she gives him just a sultry kiss. And she's like, I'll be right back.
Right back, you sexy fuck.
So
you're so horny for Crysta.
The movie is. You telling me you're not horny for Batty?
I'm not.
What about Zach?
Definitely not.
What about Cody?
Who's Cody?
I don't know. I made him up.
Okay.
So Yeah, literally, as you said that, I wrote in my notes, this movie had to be a sexual awakening for millions of kids.
Right.
Because of Crysta, but also Pips and Zach. They're also hotties. So she flies to this deforested area. Well, first she
More
reaches,
like deflowered.
We reach the edge of the forest, and I think this is so well done. The way it looks, it is just sort of brush, or what do they call it? The bush.
Yeah, it just looks like Australia all of a sudden.
Yeah, so I've stumbled upon Australia. It looks like shit.
Right, ew.
Just covered in brambles.
I need sunblock now.
And she goes up to a tree and touches it and feels that there's paint on it. And, it's just the whole thing about I feel the pain of the trees.
Right.
And here it's like I'm touching the tree's blood in this red paint.
Right. The fumes alone on the size of her body would kill her instantly, but fine.
And this is when I thought like, I have seen this movie before. Yes, okay. It's just funny when that will happen to you.
You probably thought it was about fairies getting their periods.
Probably fucking periods. Then we cut over to the big logging machine, and inside are two big old slobs.
I just would like that Zach's entire fucking job is, here's a tree, X.
Go take tree.
Look, a tree.
A tree.
X.
Yeah.
That's a plant.
If you're cutting down everything, if we have any loggers who listen, let us know. How does this work?
Right. What's
because it would seem to me just cut everything down, but
or it seems like one of those things you just give the annoying kid because he won't like shut up inside the big vehicle. It's like, why don't you go put the X's on the trees? Is that a thing?
I think you nailed it, Lacey, because they even say like, city kid, come over from the big city with this college education.
Summer job. He doesn't even want to be a real logger.
Yeah, again, what's that kid doing down here from Melbourne?
There you go.
But yeah, just one of them is played by Robert Pastorelli.
That explains why they haven't gotten the hip music yet. They were still listening to ABBA at this. Right, yeah.
It's just a prison island. Things move a little differently down there.
Sure.
But I mean, the movie's not subtle at all about this. They are like just pressing buttons to destroy entire swaths of forest as they chug like donuts and pizza slices and stuff. And they're watching their coworkers on video feeds, including Zach, and they're like, he's so lazy down there. Oh, another jelly donut in my face.
Okay.
But Zach is our main human character, and he goes up to a big old haunted tree, and even he can feel something's up with this tree. And he just goes, freaky. And he sprays the tree, and this is such a good touch. The tree absorbs the paint, and then we hear, And then Zach Crysta's like watching all of this. She doesn't understand what she's seeing, but Zach sees her and catches her in his hand. But he's like so entranced by her that he doesn't know just a tree's about to fall on him. So she casts a spell on him to give him fairy sight so that now he can see the fairies. But accidentally she says fairy size and not sight, and it shrinks him down to fairy size. So
classic.
Yeah. Then they're going to get sucked up by the tree extracting machine, but then Batty comes in, swings them, and, flies away with them. So as
this bitch can read?
Well, we don't know that she can read. No.
True.
As Zach is passed out, Crysta's going through his stuff, opens his pocket, looks at his wallet. I think there's very funny drawing of his license where he just looks like a big dumb idiot. But it clearly says New South Wales, Australia on his license.
Oh, yeah, sure does. And then, he's a nice guy because here's a picture of him with two dogs, all of them with a bone in their mouth, including him. He's just a goofball.
And I think it's funny that she takes a knife out of his pocket and he wakes up and just sees her holding a knife and she's like, hi.
I also like the way that they shake hands.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because she's like, yes, salute.
He wakes up, he's like, what? And she's like, oh, well, you're a fairy now or something. What's the deal with that monster? She keeps calling the machine a monster. And Zach's like, you're talking about the leveler? And then he's like, oh, this is too weird. I'm out of here, baby.
He's only 16 years old. I did not know that.
Really?
I'm learning that from the ID.
How many IDs will say your age is all your age on
Just
age 16?
They give the date and then you got to do the math.
So he's like, I'm out of here. You're too weird for me. But then immediately runs into giant snakes and a giant Komodo dragon who sings a song by Tone Loc, written by Jimmy Buffett. If I'm going to eat somebody, it might as well be you.
Okay.
But Crysta tells the lizard, don't eat him. He's a human. And then the lizard's like, what's a human? And Robin Williams says, delicious and nutritious, and it tastes like chicken. And I remember that line reading too. Just unlocked something in my head.
Great
For you, whatever. So Zach is mad that he's been shrunk. And Crysta's like, I'll turn you back here. But she actually like turns him into an elephant and turns him into a frog. And he's like, no more magic. Let's find somebody who actually knows how to do it. So the blue collar slobs pull the big cursed tree into their tree machine, which slices up the tree real good. And out comes a bunch of blobby black goop that just squishes and forms and coagulates and squishes again.
Tim Curry.
Proto like Venom and symbiotes from Marvel.
Sure.
It looks great. They hired Kathy Zielinski, who is one of the animators for Ursula, to do Hexis.
I definitely see notes of Logie Boogeyman and the bad guy from Prince of the Frog.
I forgot that guy's name, but yeah, the one.
The Hoodoo Voodoo Man.
Yeah, played by Keith David. And then I think also when Jafar turns into a genie, he looks like the guy.
Yeah,
he looks like Hexis in his final form.
Weird shriveled genie, yeah.
The ooze, so the ooze, like it feeds on the smoke coming out of this machine.
Definitely reads as oil though, right? Just another way of messing up the lands.
And feeding on like the refuse of the extraction that the humans are doing. And when it eats some smoke, it's like first class smoke, mother's milk.
In a way that only Tim could say it.
Yeah, so this is Tim Curry.
Milk. I can feel her smile.
Ooh, I think you do a good Tim Curry.
Oh, thank you.
You just got to make that smile. Stolen credit card.
Stolen credit God, my face is so gross.
Eliza Thornbury.
No, thank you.
He looks admiringly on the humans, like, so wonderful, so helpful, as these two slobs are just reading magazines and jacking off and stuff. See, because like humans, they're doing their destructive job even when they don't even notice it, even they don't know what they're doing.
That's
they're
why
even
I
trying hard.
I think Hexis just is, and even if it's what the forest creatures are misunderstanding, when things go bad in their forest, it's probably because something man-made. So it's like, oh no, Hexis is back, just the way ancient people blamed things on things that weren't real. And just... yeah, so it's just a metaphor here. Hexis is not real.
You think he's literally not real in the movie?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Because I like that reading. It's just...
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, you don't need... all he is amplifying the tools of destruction that were already made and the apathy that was already there. And I mean, all it really is look, now these trees, which have been cutting for months and months, as you can see, have now reached you, FernGully, those who believe in a thing called Hexis. Even when you saw the smoke, you're like, Hexis. So it's like, yeah, because smoke is fire and fire kills trees. But now here's another thing. It's all just what kills trees.
Yeah, it's this personification of the effects of everything that you're doing, often without even thinking about it. Something you have to confront. Something that you can't look away from.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
He says, I must take this wonderful thing to FernGully. And he gets on the loudspeaker of the machine and he tells them, go into the forest to FernGully. And, you know, one of the blue collar slobs is like, hey, Thone, you know what this means? And the other one's like, yeah.
Overtime.
Buku overtime.
Buku.
And then Hexis sings his villain song. I think the one good song from the movie, Toxic Love.
Yes.
Written by Thomas Dolby. She blinded me with science. But yeah, I mean, the number of different songwriters in the movie means you feel whiplash between tones.
Yes. From the tone low to the tone deaf.
Meanwhile, Crysta is taking Zach to FernGully. You have to go see FernGully. And he's like, what is FernGully? He's like, that's where everything is happening.
Okay. Is that how she talks?
Because she needs to get, I don't know, how does she talk? How do you sound sexy?
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, I was trying to be sultry.
You have to see FernGully. It's more like that.
So funny.
She's more innocent. Like, I'm not even meaning to be sexy. I'm just sexy.
That's what makes me sexy. They got to get back to Maggie because she can turn him back into a human. She knows how to actually do magic. And on the way, they get to know each other a little better. He asked, like, do you have a job? And she's like, a job? He's like, well, I guess that answers that. And then, you know, they're walking through the forest and then there's a bad song about how great the forest is. That's written and sung by child performer Raffi.
Oh my God. It's really bad.
And he tries to teach her slang from the human world. Like, you're a bodacious babe.
It is funny though later when she calls him a bodacious babe.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, she's her Samantha Mathis. Her voice performance is good because she's so sincere as she accepts it all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not laughing at her for any of it either. Like when she says tubular. So it's the next morning. Crysta wakes up and Zach is down at the bottom of the tree and he's like, look what I'm doing. I'm carving your name into the side of the tree.
I love you.
And she's freaking out. She's like, what? No, why would you do that? Can't you feel its pain? No, he cannot. So now they finally reach FernGully, which I thought they were already in FernGully, whatever. They run into Cheech and Chong, who pick up Zach and fly away with him. And Crysta goes, hey, that's my human. So then she presents him to her father. I'd like you to meet Zach. He's a bodacious babe. A what? A human. And then Pips shows up and he's immediately jealous.
Like, yeah, look what I fucking got. Kangaroo.
Yeah, the kangaroo has Zach's Walkman. So Zach's like, yeah, this is mine. This is my music. I'll show it to you all. And everybody's kind of into it. This is like the European settlers who have like gifts for the natives. And I like that he says it's a recording of music. He doesn't say music because the dad then says like, I know music and this isn't music.
Right.
So it's like a little comment on technology.
Yeah.
Like, there is a difference between music itself, which anyone can do, and this, a sort of professionalized and commodified product. But they're all kind of into it, especially Crysta. She's getting into the pure raw sex of it all.
The way she dances is like, oh yeah, I don't even have to touch the ground.
Yeah. But Maggie watches all of this with concern. She's seen this before.
Has she?
I don't know. It seems like she has. But or just, I know what's happening. They're getting tempted by the outside world. So when Crysta's done sex dancing, she's like, all right, Zach, come with me, and grabs him by the hand and just takes him away. So they're going to do this for real. And Pips just watches them go and he's just like, huh, see you around, Zach.
Guess you're going to do hand stuff. My sloppy seconds.
They swim around, they play with bubbles, and then this adult contemporary song, A Dream Worth Keeping, plays, performed by Sheena Easton. And it's always interesting in these movies because, you know, the Disney model was you have your big song that the character sings, and then in the closing credits, you have the adult contemporary artist do a cover of it. Your Peebo Bryson or whatever. Is that the guy's name?
I have no idea.
But sometimes they'll just play the adult contemporary version in the movie itself. I think only one song in this movie has the character actually singing it, and it's the lizard song. Is there another?
Right,
Hexis.
Oh, Hexis, right. Oh, Hexis. But also the one that just happened, he is miming a microphone the whole time, but never moves his mouth. It is so bizarre.
It's a lot of work to make someone's mouth move.
No, they just didn't know what song they were going to put there.
No, you're exactly right. So yeah, they're going like through all this sexy imagery. They go into a sex cove and they're just giving each other sex eyes and just get so close. She is biting her lips. She is looking so intensely at him with her enormous eyes. And then he goes in for a kiss, but she doesn't know what a kiss is, but she likes it. And then he looks down.
And I'm waiting for a boner.
Yes, of course. That's what we are supposed to think happens. But no, he's levitating.
And then they both laugh at us. Oh, we thought it was a boner. Ha ha.
No, you're sick, you viewers.
Yeah.
But then they get out of the cove and they are soaking wet and they are talking to each other like they just fucked. Like it's like, so I guess that we could go back to camp now if you want. No, I don't know if we can just. And she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go check in with whoever. Wait here. I'll be back.
That's how we talk after sex in our bed.
Yes. But now that they've exchanged fluids, he hooks up to a tree or looks up at the tree and then presses his hand to it. And suddenly he can feel its pain.
Yeah.
He is becoming part of the forest. Also, there's oil on the ground. And that's his second clue. Oh, no, oil. Hexis. Hexis is piloting the lever toward FernGully and it's destroying everything in its path. No. So Crysta goes and talks to Maggie and she's like, I found a human, but Maggie doesn't want to talk about it because look around you. Don't you see all the destruction that is being wrought upon our land?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Well, no, Crysta just wanted to be like, hey, I met a boy. It's really fun. It's really cool. I think you like him. She's like, what? Our world is being destroyed right now, Crysta. Crysta's like, but Zach, he'll be able to stop this. He's a human. He knows how to he says that their machines are, he gave me a bunch of lies that I'm now realizing are lies. This is actually his fault. So they confront him and she's like, you lied to me. And so Zach has to come clean and tell everybody the humans are not your friends. They're not here to protect the trees. They're here to destroy the forest. And I was helping them do it. You're going to have to leave. So they do a big war council or whatever. And Maggie says, the humans have released Hexis. Now we have to do something about it.
But don't worry, it won't be that hard. You're going to go in his mouth for a minute.
I need you to remember the power of the seeds and the connectivity of all.
Once again, Maggie, something big is happening and you just want to talk about fucking seeds, but all right. Help it grow. Help it grow.
All the magic of creation exists within a tiny seed, she says, and she hands the seed to Maggie, and then she just dies.
She turns blue.
She says, look for the hero within yourself. Look for the good in every other creature in this world. And this is where I just get annoyed now. It's with the movie's message, because I think it's totally incoherent. Either they're your enemy or there's good in everything, and you just need to like shower them with kindness. It's the sort of liberal Hollywood, like we're gonna you got to be the example you want to see in the world, and you have to just show them kindness.
It was this movie's mission. It's like all they need to do is know. They just don't know. They don't know that they're hurting little tiny things and that those things are majestic and amazing. Exactly. But this movie will do that for our children's children. Exactly. So like its message is coherent with itself. It's just naive.
Yes, perfectly said. But that is like to a liberal, as in contrast to someone who's more left wing, who's more socialist. All of liberalism is about is just raise awareness. Is just is making people like learn something in their heart. And then step 3, change will happen. Step 2, I don't know.
Put your hand on it till they feel the pain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raising awareness doesn't mean shit. It doesn't do anything if it's not attached to an actual plan of action, which is what's great about Avatar. Is the plan of action is we have to kill them. But you can't have these little fairies be like, we have to kill the humans.
Well, you could shrink them.
But you could shrink them, yes.
Put them in a tiny fun prison.
You have the tools. So Hexis arrives, and what happens?
Well, now this is where I'm confused. I'm like, okay, now we're fighting both things, but I thought these two things were one thing. Is that truck dangerous without Hexis in it?
Yeah.
Did Hexis ever need that truck? That's why I think one brought out the other. It literally did. But like that truck is not evil on its own. It's the evil intentions of capitalism that makes that truck evil. And that's what Hexis is. So yeah, Hexis isn't just walking around going, can't wait till somebody wants to make money in here. And he saw his opportunity with the truck. It's fucking weird. I don't know. So, they don't make sense as things that are apart. I would have kind of rather this just be about a trucking company.
Yes, exactly.
A logging company, I mean, not trucking.
And
Sorry,
then,
truckers.
And then it tries to do the thing where Zach is like, Hexis is gone, but humans are still here, and they're going to be back.
Right. And they're
so it
down like $1 million fucking truck. They're going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, I mean, Hexis looks great. He's a good villain.
Sure. They just didn't know what they were doing with him. Yeah. And I think one was written before the other thing, or Hexis was the idea. And then they're like, well, but that doesn't get us to the capitalism. I don't know.
So like, you're too shy about saying that the actual reason that forests are being destroyed is and not because anybody has an evil spirit possessing their heart, but just like,
right. Or that anyone's evil to want to take the logs. It's just they're not thinking beyond their own nose. And
we have economic incentives, and this will happen. There is no way someone will do it.
Right. We live in a society where we all need to make money. Here's the way I found to make money. I'm a logger.
So Crysta is she's trying to like marshal the protective powers of the forest. She's like, grow to like try to grow trees to block the thing, but Hexis easily breaks through them, and he's like, I'm back. I'm here at FernGully because he had an ancient confrontation with Maggie, and he's back for revenge.
Madge was a real vag and put him in a tree for a long time.
And then like Batty is carrying Zach. Zach's like, I worked with that machine. I can put a stop to it. So Batty carries Zach as he's doing a bunch of noise. Like, does John Wayne like Tora, gonna go stop the big explorer? And Captain, we've got no the lithium crystals.
That is annoying, Matt.
Yeah. I guess.
Do 5 more impressions. Fucking.
He gets into the cockpit. He turns the key, turns the machine off. Now smoke isn't coming out, so Hexis can no longer feed, and then he disappears. He's like, okay, good, the movie's over. Oh, no, he comes right back.
There he is, right back.
Even bigger, even scarier. So Crysta takes out a seed pod, hugs it to her breast, and then flies directly into the mouth of Hexis. And then
just
a tree.
like the man from Independence Day. Thank you, Crysta.
I'm back. She says it too.
Yeah.
And then I think this rules. A tree starts sprouting out of his head. He pulls it out, but just trees just start sprouting from all over him.
And then all the fairies remember the one thing they were taught in fairy school besides like lounging is help it grow. Oh, Maggie always said, help it grow. Help it grow.
Come on, everybody. Help it grow.
I'm doing grow hands. They do it.
It works.
It works.
They do it. They trap him in a tree.
They made him another fucking. That's apparently the only thing you can do. They make a tree.
He'll never make it out of this tree.
Nope, this tree's very twisty.
But then they think like, well, but Crysta's dead now because she was in his belly.
But Maggie just died, and like she was like the matriarch of our town, so like things aren't sad.
Also,
They're
remember,
so chill.
yes, because remember, death isn't sad. Death is good. It's
like,
just
look at you going to your
now
final form.
I just become like a spore or something.
Ugh. I hate spores, man.
You even hear like in the background, one of the characters is like, "I wish Crystal hadn't died."
Oh yeah.
But then she just pops out of a flower.
And now she can make flowers with her prancing.
Yeah, she is like Neo when he realizes he is the one. She is fully self-actualized. She can make everything grow real fast. Hexis can never harm FernGully again.
Definitely a foot movie. You know, a foot fetish person would enjoy.
Yeah, a lot of barefoot.
A lot of dogs.
So, but humans still could, says Zach. So he's going to go back to civilization.
It has nothing to do with the fact that we already fucked and wasn't that good for me because I don't really like just the hand stuff. So, I wish I could stay, Crysta, but I think I need to go.
I'm going to go be an advocate.
You'll have literally no idea what I am doing once I leave this area, but rest assured.
Yeah, so she hands him a seed pod and she's like, remember, Zach, remember everything. Just because like, oh God, you're leaving. I have no more control. Please don't forget.
And don't plant that seed exactly 3 feet from where we are right now. Okay, you did that? That was a souvenir. I could have planted something over there. That was for you to take back to civilization. Barely went anywhere.
Tony and Ralph find Zach and be like, hey, what happened here, Zach? And
Fuck the fairy.
And then he like shows them and sees all the magic. They see all the magical growth and they turn around and walk away like after 8 seconds. Like, oh, well.
And they squat a mosquito and like, no, they don't do that, but that'd be funny if they did.
They got a long walk ahead of them. Zach says, guys, things have got to change.
Do tell.
Crysta grows a bunch of more magic plant shit. And then Pips puts his hand on Crysta's shoulder and she instantly flies away. Just one more final insult before the movie can end. And then that's it. Just a screen, a black screen, and then a title card for our children and our children's children. It's just like Oliver Stone's JFK ending with...
Maybe they meant like the residuals from this movie because it wasn't lack of... You know what I mean? Yeah, the trees are going to die.
Oliver Stone's JFK ends with a card like dedicated to the future who will fight for the battle to learn the truth of JFK. We're still waiting on that.
But we are still fighting.
Still fighting.
People are still asking for stuff. Unlock the files, they say.
Come on, do it. Hello.
I'm not getting tired out here. Knock, knock.
Our final thoughts and star ratings for FernGully, The Last Rainforest. We're going to start with Lacey, who's just...
I was bored, and it wasn't the movie I thought it was. 2.5.
Wow. Damn.
Sorry. I'm not going to be watching that or recommending it. I get why I would have liked it then. I wouldn't have understood sex, but she was like serving that sex. I'd have been like, ooh, hot fairy. I'd have been like that. But I'm a mature adult now who doesn't need to have sex with fairies.
But you want to.
No, I don't. Have sex with you. 2.5.
Do you think that it was... How would you judge our ability to talk about animation? Would you...
I don't understand why we were ever bad at it. We just nailed this.
I agree.
You said it's hard to talk about. I say we weren't good at talking.
If we talk about another animated movie, you would think that'd be good?
That's why I've recommended it. If you, Matt, I feel like you are not paying attention.
What have you recommended? Once Upon a Forest? Okay. Look for that in the future. I like the movie a lot more than Lacey does, even though I named a lot of problems with it. 3.5 stars for the quality of the animation, some of the voice performances, Mathis, Curry, and Anybody? I mean, Robin Williams is doing his thing, even though I think it's annoying. He's.
I think Zach is a fine voice actor. He was like engaging.
Yeah,
I don't know the actor in general.
No, me neither. But he's good. Just like dumb hunk.
Yeah.
And again, I think some really extraordinary moments of animation. I like the attempt to do a sort of anti-capitalist message, but it's so incoherent and muddled and doesn't know what it's actually advocating for.
So Pollyanna that it's embarrassing.
Yes, which is the risk when you try to do something like that.
Well, I've been poisoned and my Hexis lives inside me.
Me too, yes. So. Hexis is within the nexus of the Hexis. But 3.5 stars. It's not a movie I have any nostalgia or attachment to, but I think you should check it out. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes long.
I do appreciate that.
I think it's an hour and 15. It's so fast. Mm-hmm. So check it out or don't. Whatever. Live your life. Next week, we are talking about the 2000 film Charlie's Angels.
Look how tiny Cameron Diaz is. Jesus.
Starring Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. This is a movie that I saw a lot of times. I have no memories of it whatsoever.
Well, let's see if you get an erection, because I have an idea of why you watched it a lot.
You always say that, but you know
that a horny man.
You know that was never.
I'm going to be right one of these times.
I mean, it's like
if only I'd known FernGully was one of your movies, I would have been right.
But I had a computer in my room. I could have looked at pornography on the internet.
That doesn't mean that you don't like eye candy like I do. I just like to look at the clothes. You like to look at the hose.
I think she nailed it. So that's coming up next week, episode 172. Our 200th episode will be here before we know it. And we'll have to talk about Hook again. We have a Patreon, Load Bearing Beams Collector's Edition. Sign up for $5 a month and get bonus episodes every month. Tell a friend about Load Bearing Beams. Tell them this podcast
Tell your boss.
Tell your boss.
Tell capitalism.
Tell your assistant.
Make them do it. Say it's an assignment.
Tell your people, have your people get with some other people and tell them.
Okay.
And leave us a review on iTunes. Why don't you? Subscribe, Twitter, Load-Bearing Pod, Instagram, Load-Bearing Beams, TikTok, load.bearing.beams, where things are happening. Letterboxd, Matt Stokes 9, Letterboxd at Load-Bearing Lacey. Rural Route 9 is the band, my band,
it's your band
that does the music for Load-Bearing Beams, including the song you're hearing right now. Check us out on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you get your music. Why don't you? Please and thank you.
Okay. I love you. Goodbye.
Three, four. Everybody, Load Bearing Beams, Load Bearing Beams, Load Bearing